Hello, everyone. Coming to you right now. There is a suspect detained in the Nancy Guthrie case. So we're going to get started with it again. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It's just now breaking, and here we go.
Official briefed on the investigation, telling ABC News. I want to bring in our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Guthrie, live in Tucson. Aaron, do we know where this person was detained?
This individual was detained in connection with Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, according to the law enforcement official, David, south of Tucson. A specific location was not disclosed, but we know that a SWAT team had left the Pima County Sheriff's Department heading to point south, and at a location south of Tucson, a law enforcement official tells ABC News an individual has been detained in connection with Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. David, this development comes on the same day the first images of an individual approaching Nancy Guthrie's home were released, and as authorities continued to search in and around this neighborhood where her home is. We saw them searching a drain pipe, conducting other investigative steps today, but the breaking development here now, David, an individual has been detained for questioning in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
Aaron, stay with me here. Aaron with us live from Tucson. We can show the audience the video now of the person, the subject that the FBI had released video of earlier in the day. This was the first time we had seen a development of this scope in this case. Someone at the door. This was video retrieved from that Nest camera after the FBI worked directly with Google. And Aaron, just to be clear here, this person detained in connection with the case, authorities are not saying if it's the person that we see in this video. They're also not saying this is a suspect. They're simply saying at this hour, a person detained in connection with this case.
They are only saying that it's an individual detained in connection with the case.
Don't know
not
yet. We'll know in a
calling
minute.
The person a suspect or a person of interest, not saying there's any connection at this point with the images that were released earlier today by the FBI. But law enforcement officials have obtained a search warrant. They're going to be searching a location south of Tucson, where this individual was detained. They're going to be going through that location. That could take hours, and either that search would resolve the matter, and that could be it, or there could be some further development associated with this individual. But right now, the person is not considered a suspect, we're told, only someone taken for questioning, detained.
And with just a few seconds left, Aaron, a search warrant that will play out in the location where they detain this person?
That's right, David. The search warrant is for a location associated with this individual. Specifically what it says, what they're looking for, has not been made clear.
All right. Aaron Guthrie, our chief investigative correspondent, reporting at this hour, a person has been detained in connection with the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, of course, the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. The whole nation has been praying for days that there would be a development that would bring Nancy Guthrie home. We'll continue to follow this. For those of you in the West at this hour, we're just about 3 minutes away from World News Tonight. More at abcnews.com. I'm David Buer. Good night.
Okay, so we have...
This has been a special report from ABC News.
Person in custody right now, and that's really all we know at the exact moment. Hopefully we'll be learning who that is soon. Of course, you have ABC there saying that someone is in custody out of South Tucson, from what I understand. South Tucson. If you have anything on this case, mods, drop my link, please, because we are pulling up everything that we can right now. FBI director earlier today said this. I wonder who it is, guys. I wonder who it is. This was Patel talking in Tucson earlier. So, yes, craziness that this is... I had a feeling, those armored trucks left earlier. Yeah, you can send me anything at 307-228-4906 right here. If you guys have anything, please send it to me. And we're kind of just awaiting what's going on here. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find some stuff on the ground here. See if there's anyone that's actively on the ground real quick. Let me see here. If there's that, guys, before we get started, if you don't mind, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. 2 seconds. 2 seconds, guys. Yeah. Okay. Okay, JLR. He's on his way.
Circle K. So we're going to go over here and find out what's happening with this detainment and listen in and find out details and everything like that. Look how pitch black it is.
Are they going to have a press conference? Let's check.
Area. Oh, there's a fire truck. Huh.
South Tucson. We should know pretty soon, hopefully.
I lost my media badge. I was out and about doing the filming today. My media badge is gone. Missing. JLR's media badge. It's very, very dark out here, folks. A suspect has been detained in connection with this case.
South Tucson.
On my way to Tomaso's right now. I'm almost there, probably within the next.
I'm wondering.
Probably within the next.
Wondering if. Do you guys think it's Tomaso, or just one person is detained right now? They're not saying the word arrested. You just checked what, baby kisses?
See that? That's crazy. This is the neighborhood.
You just checked what?
Check it out.
What is going on with my screen here?
This is what it looks like out here.
Okay. There we go.
ABC.
Hold on.
Just showed a video of a person trying to take out the camera. The person had gloves and a mask.
What?
All right, so there's media out here in front of Tomaso's home. Look at all the media out here.
Okay. Here. All the media is out there right now. I don't think Tomaso is arrested, in my opinion. I don't believe it's Tomaso at this time, but I do believe it is probably the man that is related to the video, right? I do believe that. Let me see here. Media is out there. It's just
back here.
absolutely crazy right now. So bear with me, guys, as I.
I'm gonna spin the camera around. We're gonna talk.
Let's see here.
Try to find out more information.
We're trying to dig right now. They were out there earlier all this evening, kind of like hell broke loose after a few hours after the video, and then all of that happened after that. Very weird. The son-in-law. Hey Cassie, good to see you. I bet they will have him in again questioning while they have his bandmate, in my opinion. I mean, this is the thing, guys. The person at the door was not Tomaso. It's not like it's. I'm not saying that he doesn't have any involvement. I'm not saying that he does or he doesn't. But the guy at the door was not Tomaso. That is for sure.
It says the reports: law enforcement detains one in connection with Nancy Guthrie's disappearance.
Yes.
ABC News says the Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI.
Let me check my source. 1 second, guys. I'm trying to.
So that was probably where those
person detained.
Went. The FBI had
for questioning
footage on Tuesday.
Okay.
We saw all that. That's all we know. So what's the information?
Bear with me.
Keep coming with what we got. I am in front of Tomaso's home right now. what in the world is going on here? Someone has been detained. Dun, 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 dun.
Approaching.
Seems like somebody has been detained.
Now, this makes me wonder now. This makes me wonder why in...
I asked the neighbor here. I talked to
You do Canadian even with a goatee?
And this is what the,
hey, Joyous, good to see you, love. This makes me wonder why they put... why the activity was happening earlier. I think, in my opinion, the FBI did that so they could charge him with an extra charge of actually giving them money. It's crazy, War. It's crazy. This is the most crazy thing I think I've ever seen as far as like just the steps unfold. I mean, Brian Laundrie was up there too. I found out that flashlight is a mouth flashlight. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, JLR. He's a good guy.
So they said the FBI is over there at the Dove of Peace Church right by Tommaso's home. Dove of Peace Lutheran Church. We're gonna go over to the Dove of Peace and see if there's agents still there. It is approximately 0.7 miles away.
Around the mouth. Bitcoin can absolutely be traced. Yes, Ratui. They made that clear. Just a little bit ago, I was playing something. Nancy, I want to make it clear though, Nancy has not been found. Nancy has not been found. They've got this person detained. This person is either going to talk or they're going to shut up. One or the other. They're going to talk or they're going to shut up. One or the other. And the eyebrows were mostly thin. I think the eyebrows were neatly kept, in my opinion. But I think that
the FBI was out here today.
It's a neat person. They take good care of themselves, their looks. I think it's someone in their 30s, most likely. Yes. So if you're just joining us, there has been a person, not arrested, detained, rather. They have been detained, and it literally just broke. Law enforcement they have one person in custody related to the Nancy Guthrie case. What is as of 6 minutes ago? There's something nobody else touched on, and there has to be a reason for it. I texted you. You're probably talking about the government part, aren't you? Yes, love. Yes, love. Let me see here. People are saying bandmate, but not confirmed. Yeah, I don't know about that yet. Hold on, I'm getting something. Okay. Breaking TMZ. Nancy Guthrie, person of interest, detained for questioning, not a family member. Let me just mute this. Getting some new stuff in.
Not in this area right now.
Okay. Y'all can tell, someone can tell JLR to have his people look at TMZ. Not a family member. A law enforcement source involved in an investigation says that this is not a family member in the Guthrie case. Not a family member that has been detained. Not a family member. Told you guys it wasn't going to. This is not a family member. Whoever came to that door is not a family member. Thank you so much, Dolores. Appreciate you, my dear. Let's get right back on it here. Yes, we are learning that this is not a family member, according to TMZ. Not a family member. Hold on. Bear with me. I got to close some of these things. Okay. A law enforcement source involved in the investigation tells TMZ that it is not a member of the Guthrie family. It says, we broke the story, meaning TMZ. Our law enforcement sources told us the operating theory is the kidnapper is from Tucson area and wrote the ransom note that was sent to a couple Tucson TV stations and TMZ. This morning, FBI released the first image of Savannah Guthrie's mom, apparent kidnapper, and the feds blasted the footage out to the public on the same day they received the info. The abductor promising to return Nancy within 12 hours after receiving a $6 million ransom. Do you guys remember? Oh, he's talking about the bandmate. Okay, sassy. Do you guys remember them saying that the band member, or not the band member? God, I can't get the band member out of my head. Fuck me, I don't remember what I was going to say. I got too much on my mind. So it is not a member of they said that the ransom person, I don't remember which ransom person it was, but they said that it would take them like a little bit of time to drive there. Ford Hatchett says breaking the Pima County Sheriff's Department is with assistance of the FBI has detained an individual for questioning in connection with the abduction of Nancy Guthrie. Yes. Official briefed on the investigation, ABC News. Yep, got that one. 1 second. Okay. I have not seen that. The person that started with an L that just emailed me, I have not seen that. If you can find any more on that, please send it to me. Because that would be very interesting if that is the case. Yes, it is confirmed by TMZ that this is not NOT, a family member that is detained. Now, just because one person is detained doesn't mean that they're going to be arrested. But I do feel that the FBI is pretty confident in this. It's probably going to be a very long night. We're just hoping. Hold on. Why would they say that? Hold on. I got the address. 1 second. I think I got the address of the person. Let me check. Give me a second. One second. Okay. North. Guys, you got to bear with me. I'm by myself right now, so I've got to pull this up. I think I have an address right here of the potential suspect or person in custody. Second, guys. Okay, 1 second. One second here. Okay. Okay, I want to make sure that that's the right person. As I need to get one more confirmation. What did Joshua say? Joshua, is that confirmed? What did Josh say? What did you say? How do you know that, Joshua? You got a source on that? Just kind of, let me see here. This is absolutely crazy. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Not related to the family, or, you know, online reports are circulating. Okay. We got, a tweet. Let me make sure that's from Eric Trump. 1 second. That's I don't think that's Eric Trump, to the person that sent that to me. Let me make sure. There is no name as of now, but people are saying that it's potentially a band member, but why, we have no idea yet. No idea yet. Thank you so much, Miss Dolores. Appreciate you, love. Pray she's found safe. We know that she has not been found yet. She has not been found yet. That is one thing. People are saying that the names, people are alleging Dominic. Okay. But again, that's, I don't want to tell you something until, what the fuck? Oh, sorry. Until I can find out more. Let's see here. This is the time where everything is trying to get ironed out. Okay, people are saying Dominic Evan. Bandmate of brother-in-law. Brian Inton. Let me look at his. People are sending this to Brian Inton and others. The big bird girl he's talking. Okay, let me turn this up. 1 second.
Me. I think I know where I dropped my press pass. I lost my press pass when I was out there.
Oh no. Let me see here. We are kind of waiting. People are talking about Dominic, but again, would it surprise me?
All right, so look.
Can't really say that.
FBI today was searching all around this area. They were searching all around here. They were going door to door, but look how dark it is at night. You can't literally see anything.
It's very dark.
Easy a way to dispose of a body. If you want to get rid of a body.
Very, very easy to get rid of. Okay. Okay, we're going to go right. I'll be back with this in just a second. We're going to go
if this is the person that is ultimately arrested and charged, there will now be a trial. And so there is a complex kind of legal process that needs to be followed here.
This is live.
This investigation has been rapidly unfolding throughout the day.
We do have a picture of one of the band members.
Yesterday afternoon, we're trying to get some clarity on that as more information has come forward. And as NBC News first reported last Friday night, investigators were looking for a vehicle to see whether or not it was connected with the case, and actually have been able to get video from a local business. In the course of doing that work, they came up with a specific vehicle description. That description we have withheld up until this point.
I did not know that.
We'll continue to uphold,
Do you hear that?
back that information until this individual is charged, just in case this is not the person that is
They
ultimately charged in
had
the
a
case.
vehicle description, but they didn't say anything yet.
Between the two things. So we're trying to get some more information tonight, trying to figure out all the pieces of the puzzle that may have gotten to this point in getting this
Please
person
hit the
into
thumbs up button,
custody.
y'all.
But obviously this investigation is robust, has been ongoing, and certainly their analysis of the video started before 12:50 when the FBI director released it today.
Of course, and I think it's worth noting here, Tom, the accelerated pace of the investigation here, because while we don't know, we can't definitively say, based on you and the team's reporting, that the person we're looking at here is the same person who's being detained for questioning, you could potentially, it seems, draw a line between the release of this video, the fact that the FBI made a concerted effort to get this out in a very public, very high-profile way, and what we have now, which is word that somebody has been detained for questioning, after 9.5 basically agonizing days of having very little information.
That's exactly right. And one of the things you want to do in an investigation like this is when you get evidence like this that can push a suspect, you want to see if there's anybody that you're looking for, if this is ultimately the person that's charged. Did they start to get on the move? Did they start to travel? Did they start to do anything
really
in the course
messing up.
Of
What's wrong with YouTube? It's probably overloaded.
Whatever they were up to at the moment. Is there anything that they do at that time that helps kind of corroborate your theory or leads you to believe that it is now the time to make an arrest? So I'm just using historical examples. Whenever we've seen these types of videos go out before, whoever's in that video now knows, one, that video exists. Two, that video exists of me. And so maybe I need to do something, change it up. Do I get on a phone I hadn't been using?
Okay, I want to show y'all something. New information coming in. I cannot confirm this information
electronically or in person. That would get
but I'm going to show it to you.
Pause to then dig deeper or perhaps take somebody into custody. Again, all questions we'll see if they apply to this case. We don't know yet for sure if that will work in this case, if that is something that's been occurring. But that's the basics of what we know at this hour. Admittedly, very little. We just know that there's a person being questioned.
Do you not hear?
We don't know whether or not they'll ultimately be charged. There's a lot of different facets of this investigation. We're kind of waiting to see if those become true.
And I appreciate that, Tom, because I think it's important context here that this is a piece potentially of the puzzle. It is not the whole puzzle, because obviously we still don't know anything about where Nancy Guthrie is, Tom. And I wonder, in the course of the many conversations that I know you and the team have been having, is there anything that stands out to you, something that you've heard, let's say, again and again from law enforcement experts or analysts about the video that we're seeing here? In other words, is there a particular thread or clue or hint that they have keyed in on throughout the course of the evening here that could be important?
I don't know, because this has all happened so quickly this evening. I mean, we got a sense, it's currently 10:06 on the East Coast. I would say approximately of 5:30 p.m. tonight, we started to detect that there was a lot of movement in law enforcement in the greater Tucson area, that there were a number of things that we needed to start to pay attention to. We continue to make our calls, discuss with
one second. This is being, again, I cannot confirm this, but someone in a group says, hey, I have some inside from here in Tucson. My best friend's sister lives next door to one of Tommaso's bandmate. The police have been present all day and we're getting updates that it's getting heavier. This was earlier. And they put, he's been missing for over a week also. I'll keep update as I get more info. Now, again, unconfirmed, there is someone in custody. We do not have a name on that. I cannot confirm that text.
If it's all together,
don't run with it as an actual fact.
That's going to be incredibly powerful evidence. It will obviously give them confidence that they're keying in on the right person. If they've found that, how much they found of that, we just don't know, Hallie.
You know,
Tom, I'm going to let you get back
there.
to the phone. I know you got more calls to make, but I appreciate you.
Things will come out.
I'll ask you to come back to the camera
this
when you
evening,
can,
for sure.
Let me bring in our NBC News law enforcement analyst, Evie Pomporis, who's joining us now. Evie, you heard Tom lay out a myriad of things that law enforcement
if this is the guy in custody,
looking at, that investigators
he knows
would presumably be
there's a
looking
video
at.
of him.
So I'll put the question to you: what stands out to you?
They knew
from
this evening. They wouldn't have put that out.
Sort of
in my
brought us
opinion.
inside what that questioning would look like of this individual. What would the next step be?
Well, look, let's kind of build a little bit of the framework of what the questioning would look like. Local authorities take them into custody. Now, typically, if it's being done,
Nancy has not been found yet.
But a certain way, you would want to have a representative from the local authorities, also maybe an FBI law enforcement official. You want a primary and secondary in the room. You typically don't want to do criminal investigations by yourself, because your secondary is going to pick up things that you miss. It's actually a lot of work to interview someone, to
getting more stuff in, guys,
to ask questions, to note, are they telling me the truth or not? Did they actually answer my question? Or am I going through a list? So it's a lot of work. So having a secondary in there is going to pick up the things that you miss. And
I'm getting a second source on that address that I was talking about earlier.
Interview is the most important interview. A lot of times people think, oh, you can go back again and again. And I will tell you through my own experience, that first one is where you want to try to get the bulk of information.
Confirmed.
When you go to the second or third or fourth,
two sources,
your chances of getting good information goes down. I mean, it tanks. So we're looking at potentially, is this person a suspect, or are they somehow connected to the suspect? In addition, we were talking about warrants before. You know, there's something simple you can do sometimes as an investigator. Consent. Hey, do you mind if we look through your house? Do you mind if I look through your home? Do you mind if I look through your computer?
We're going to come back to this.
They can give you consent. And you know what? Sometimes they do. So that's,
come back right to
not
this.
Lost on me as a former interviewer.
This is live.
Now, if they don't.
And I'm going to send you, we're going to go to Brian Ensign real quick. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that thumbs up button wherever you are. Okay.
Some very basic information from a source, and it is that there is a person who has been detained in the Nancy Guthrie investigation that they are planning to question. They may have already started questioning. I am not being told that this person is being called a suspect or a person of interest, just that there is someone detained right now, and the location is somewhere south of Tucson,
I got the address.
In Pima County, but south of Tucson. It may explain the activity that we saw earlier, Leland, when it comes to the SWAT trucks getting ready and leaving. And like I said, there was just a flurry of activity a couple of hours ago, and we do now have confirmed that there is someone detained. And I was told that questioning was going to begin sometime soon.
You damn right it is.
Okay, Brian, stay with us. We've got Tracy Walder, Chris Hinkle, both formerly of the FBI. Tracy, just putting this timeline together, because those SWAT team vehicles left within minutes of the video being put out. Is this a situation potentially where investigators had a suspect in mind or a person in mind and released the video to see what that person did?
It could have been a ruse. Absolutely. I think there's no question. But I also think that video, if you take it in connection with Samantha Guthrie's video, Savannah Guthrie's video from the night before, really indicated to me that they did need the public's help in terms of finding a suspect. And because this individual was essentially, and rightly so, blasted all over the media throughout the U.S., hopefully someone close to this individual who knows this individual, who recognizes some of these features, came forward, and they could be questioning one of those individuals, or they could be questioning the person on the camera.
Look, and Chris, we got to be very careful in these situations, and we are all in the media, I think, should be at least resident and hesitant, knowing past situations where we've been through, where someone was put forth as a suspect or a person of interest, turned out not to be. I'm thinking about Elizabeth Smart's kidnapping. I'm thinking about the Atlanta Olympic Park bombers. What in these initial hours, what are going to be the questions to this person? As Brian said, they're being brought in for questioning.
Well, they're going to want to confirm, corroborate, or just get some clarification on the information that led to them actually talking to this person. But I agree with you. People that engage in what I call confirmation bias, when they say this must be the person. So they end up looking at only the information that confirms the bias that they have toward that individual. That is just a detriment to any investigator. You've got to let the facts take you where they go. And we knew we were going to get a lot of activity once this video was put out there. Somebody knows who this person is. Somebody recognizes something, whether it's the gloves, the jacket, the backpack, the size of the shoes. It could be any of that. So,
okay, we're going to go back to NBC right now. They are live. I am hearing, again, I'm going to show you. I'm not saying that this is the person by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll just say this is the area that that two sources have given me, that this is allegedly the area that they are in. Again, news has not confirmed that yet, and I'm not going to say that for an actual fact, but I've just got to wait for that before we can say or do anything on that. Okay. We're going to go back to NBC. They are live. Of course, this is Savannah Guthrie's parent company that she works for and has done an amazing job for so many years. And my heart just absolutely breaks.
Law enforcement is valuable
for
either
her.
Eliminating someone or learning something that could help lead to
Thank you so much, Shell.
about
Appreciate you, my dear.
where is
Welcome.
Nancy Guthrie? Is she okay? And can she be returned to her family? So with all of this at a scale of national profile, we're really sort of inviting our viewers into the incremental work of law enforcement. We don't have more answers right now, but there have certainly been very meaningful developments today that are hopefully getting investigators closer to the answers they need, and for the Guthrie family and the community here closer to bringing her home. Hallie?
Kelly, I want you to stand by on that community piece.
Does that
on
match?
The way that this community has rallied around the Guthrie family. I'll come back to you on that in just a second. But you're saying something important, and I want to go to Jim Kavanaugh on this, our NBC News law enforcement analyst. And Jim, there's two pieces to this that Kelly laid out that I want to pick up with you. One is is Kelly described it the sort of incremental work of law enforcement that we are getting a peek behind the curtain of. And there are, I know in your view, there are potentially some reasons to be cautious that this person being detained is the person in the video, is the person who had something directly to do with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And then there's also this other piece of it, Jim, which is centering Nancy. Where is she? Are we any closer to finding her?
It's going to be
right, Hallie. Well, you're spot on. Let's break that down. You know, I have a lifetime experience on these big cases. I was on the Atlanta
there goes my chat
bombing
finally
case
working.
when investigators in Atlanta were so absolute certain they had the bomber Richard Jewell that they wrote a federal search warrant to search his house. You know, many of us at the time said, it's not him. It's not him. But they were absolutely certain. And you remember the anthrax case in Washington when investigators were so certain it was the guy and it was Stephen Hatfield.
I hope she's okay.
Mr. Stephen Hatfield, and it wasn't him. So I would just say a little bit of caution here.
I agree.
Let's look at the gold standard we have. That's the video. We can look at that.
That's
and
solid.
Nothing's going to bring. That's great evidence right there. You got a lot of things there to look at and
still don't
make a
know.
determination.
Don't know till
and
we
since
know.
8 hours ago, the tips flooded in. All kinds of tips are coming in. All kinds of tips. And detectives and agents have to act on that. They have to go conduct interviews and go do things and go see what people were doing. But
interviews are supposed to start pretty soon.
If I described you,
as long as they'll talk.
The command post, for example, the DC
Remember, you don't got to talk.
I'd have a board up there next to command post. We'd have 10 names on it. And I could bring detectives and agents up to the command desk that would swear
good to see you.
that number 3 is the sniper because of this and this and this and this and this. And, you know, I would be there with the FBI agent in charge and the chief of detectives, and we'd say, okay, you know, we're going to put them under 24-hour surveillance. If you feel that strongly about it, we're going to put a 24-hour surveillance on them. Sure enough, 2 nights later, the sniper would kill somebody 100 miles away. We'd say, well, where was your guy? And he'd say, oh, he was at a bar in Rockville, Maryland. We said, well,
Right.
it ain't him. So we would have a list of suspects that all looked super great. So I'm just being cautious. I am buoyed by the fact that they are talking to somebody and they've detained them. I feel good about enough that they've detained them, but that can wash out too. But if it does wash out, that doesn't bring me down 1 inch, because I think that's normal course of business. You already have the gold standard here of this evidence that broke today. That's going to lead to an apprehension. Now, whether it'll be today or tomorrow, but it's going to do it. It's going to do it. Let's hope they have a great lead. Let's hope they can match, the gun, the coat, the backpack. But it
in
could
my
also
opinion,
be
it's looking more and more
something small. Somebody could call in and say,
like
I think it's my boyfriend. He's got a jacket exactly like that.
it could be someone.
Well, that's not the only jacket like that in
We'll just have to
Arizona. I
see.
guarantee it. And that's not enough to charge you with anything, but it's enough to go talk to you.
Thank you,
Hey,
Camilla.
Billy,
Appreciate you, my dear.
where were you Saturday night? What are
Thank
you
you,
doing?
Mal.
Who are you?
Appreciate
What's
you.
going on? Detectives and trying to find out and then flush
Oh
them
my
out.
God, Shal, that's so kind of
Or,
you. Thank you so
determine that
very
he
much,
is,
my love.
good
Very
for it,
kind
and
of
then you
you.
have to get some warrants.
Thank you, lovely.
Well, Jim, I think.
But I think it's just the way you got to
Very
keep your
kind of my
mind
love.
and
Here's
only
Steve
work from a
Thank Mal.
foundation of facts and not,
Please.
make sure you don't get spun off.
Oh, thanks, Shal. I apologize.
One of the things you're
Thanks,
saying
Shal
here, and I think
Mal
it's important,
and Camille.
it's not enough. An apprehension wouldn't be enough, right, for the Guthrie family. They want Nancy home. Bring her home. That's what we've heard
Exactly.
from the Guthrie family publicly, from Savannah, from her siblings since 10 days ago, when we all learned that this had happened here. And so I think it seems to me like part of what you're saying, Jim, is that there is still a laser focus, and there must be a laser focus in any advancement of the case being directed towards finding Nancy Guthrie.
No, that's exactly right. And there's going to be a lot of tips on who these people could be or this guy could be. And they've got a lot of reasons and avenues to check all those. This is the first one we've heard about where they've, stepped up to the point where they've detained somebody to question them. But, I used to hear investigators say, I don't believe in coincidences. Well, you haven't investigated many things then. Because coincidences,
They can
we live in
happen.
coincidences. People in a certain city, even in a region,
That's true.
they
The
do a lot of
names.
similar things. Their lifestyles are similar. They go to similar sports, similar work, similar clothing even. I mean, there's so many coincidences in life. What you got to have is hard, straight facts. Coincidences may cause you to look, but you've really got to get something that's concrete. Now, maybe that will come from this interview and maybe it won't. Here's what I would say. If I was saying to all of us, don't be discouraged if this lead washes out. Don't be discouraged, because there's lots of other leads in
I
this
know they're
case.
being cautious. They're
Lots
being
of other
very
leads.
cautious
I hope
here,
it doesn't
but
wash out. I hope it's the guy.
I
But
mean,
don't be discouraged if it does, because there's lots of leads here.
Jim, please
nah.
stand by. I know Evie's standing
They-
by. We've
they've-
got Kelly
they've
O'Donnell, we've
waited.
got Tom Winter, we've
I
got
doubt
Liz
it
Corey, our
on
team in
that one.
Arizona and beyond, covering all of this. We're going to sneak in a very quick break, but we'll be right back with more of our special coverage of this major development in the Nancy Guthrie investigation in
Okay.
just a moment.
So we are waiting. God, I wish they would give us a name soon now. Hopefully something is going to pop off here in a minute. I did show you an area again. I've gotten some text on this. A text on this. 1 second, I'm getting more information. It is from I don't know what you mean. Okay. A transaction is made. Bear with me, guys. Okay. There is... I'll show you what we're looking at here. We are looking at allegedly... Again, there's no confirmation on this. There is an address up here on the screen, but it is not that address. But I will just say it's somewhere around here that people are saying that allegedly police have been at. Again, it's not any, there's different addresses as you like, even if there's not a home there, there's still addresses. But we are just kind of waiting on confirmation for names and all that. However, just a few seconds ago, if you will, there was a neighbor's friend that was discussing about that area. They claimed that police had been in that area, kind of eyeing things around, if you will, today. So again, everything that we know right now is very preliminary. One thing that we do know is that Nancy has not been found and that she's still missing as of now. They are supposed to start looking for her, or not looking for her, questioning this guy. I've got 900 things going on.
Gloves or a couple of pairs of gloves. I want to bring in our national law enforcement. And
that is if he talks, though.
Tom Winter and Tom, let's
if
start
he
there,
talks,
because the individual that we just saw in that video may not be the person that law enforcement is.
Yeah, Hallie, I'm going to interrupt you. The Pima County Sheriff's Department, which is we've been reporting, has been leading this investigation along with the FBI.
Tell us.
They have detained a subject in connection to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. The statement is as follows. Earlier today, Pima County Sheriff's Department deputies detained a subject during a traffic stop south of Tucson. The subject is currently being questioned in connection to the Nancy Guthrie information. Additional investigation information will be released as it becomes available. Again, the Pima County Sheriff's Office, which obviously is
I see what they're
where
doing.
Tucson is located. They were the ones
I
that
was
first
confused.
responded to Nancy Guthrie's house, saying officially on the record.
Okay, so what he was saying there is the Pima County Sheriffs, they just put out a statement, and I just got it as he was reading it, and that is what he's referring to. It's just an official banner. I can show it to you if you want, but it says earlier today, the Pima County Sheriff's Office deputies detained a subject during a traffic stop south of Tucson. The subject is currently being questioned in connection to the Nancy Grace. So this was a traffic stop that happened today. Mods, please continually, if you would be so kind, to drop my phone number and email at least every 5 minutes if you can, so people can send information as it's coming in, because you guys are the voice out here. So during a traffic stop, I'll pull this up and show it to you.
Would there have been like a traffic stop sort of set up for like a routine matter that just so happened to ensnare this individual? Do we have any sense of that?
I want to say that my source that I got an address from just a second ago that I was showing you, and I was waiting for a second source. They said that this person hasn't been home all week, but the police were there around the home today, and that makes sense now that there was a traffic stop
at some point. When that was, how that was, all those details, eventually we'll hear if this person is arrested. If this person is not arrested and is ultimately not charged with anything, we won't hear any of that.
Right there.
I know a lot of people, particularly on social media, are wondering, what is this person's name? What's their background? Give us some more details.
So much,
and I appreciate all the interest in that. As you can well imagine, those are all questions that we have here.
You, my friend.
We want to know a lot more, but those are things that are still part of this investigation.
That is official, just came out.
Somebody is formally arrested.
They're showing it here
we
too,
want
as well.
to, just kind of take a pause here, see what information comes out, and at some point when it's appropriate to name them, as we've done in the past, that's a step we'll take.
So let me ask you this too, Tom, because this is like a logistical question, but just as we pull back the curtain a little bit here, no word that we're going to hear from Pima County today, now that we have this statement from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I know it's late, obviously, in Arizona. It's late on the East Coast. No indication so far, right, that we're going to see anybody in front of cameras giving us more on this that we know of yet?
You know, Hallie, I don't do a ton of coverage on the West Coast, so I don't know the specific rules. The rules that would apply here, whatever state laws
you know what?
would...
Tom, I'm sorry. I'm going to do an annoying thing, because as I asked you that question, we got the answer, which is that no press conference is scheduled at this time. I'm sorry to do that to you. I wasn't.
But I
sure
do. No problem. No problem. I do want
They're
to
still
pause on that, though,
investigating.
because whether there's a press conference scheduled or not, from a legal perspective, most states have a hold period where you could hold somebody without charging them, just as you work on that. So I would need to know what the specific mechanics are here from a legal standpoint. I don't know off the top of my head what it might be as it applies to this particular county or Arizona. That would be research we would want to do. But from a legal standpoint, what has to happen here? They have to get to a point where they obviously had some cause for the stop. And then they need to get to a point where once their law enforcement activity is wrapped up or they're reasonably along tonight, whoever's going to file charges in this case, whether it's done at the county level, at the state level, I think it's instructive that it's the county that is the ones that are putting this information out. It's not coming from the FBI. It leads us to believe at this, at least early stage, that this is going to be a potential for a state case. We'll see. But they would have to get to a point where they feel they have enough evidence to go to a judge to say, we're going to charge this person with an arrest complaint and list the potential charges. They can add to those charges at some point. They can add more information. But once they think they have enough to kind of clear that bar, then they would be able to do that. Whether or not we get to that point with this particular individual, I don't know. But obviously, to take this person into custody, they have a sense that they think that this is a path worth at least looking into.
You've been clear that based on the information that you and the team have, we cannot say for sure. We do not know if the person seen in this video, the surveillance video we've been showing, those images that came out earlier today, released by the FBI, is the same individual who's been detained for questioning. Clearly, though, Tom, that the high-profile nature, the way that these images were released, the fact that the FBI put it out there, the president of the United States reviewed the surveillance video, and his press secretary talked about it, in her briefing today. The accelerated pace of this investigation is worth noting, along with, Tom, the fact that there had been a question of whether there was even any images in the first place at all just days ago, right? Because the sheriff's department had suggested that they didn't have any.
Yeah, I think that's really important. By the way, I just heard from an attorney that I've known for a long time, has some experience out there, Mark Rash, who suggested to me that it's a 48-hour holding window. So we'll continue to get some more details on that in the state of Arizona.
Please hit the thumbs up,
I think
thank you, Shell.
Take a step
Bell,
back
good
at
to
this
see you,
case,
babe. Thank you so much.
There was so much belief
Really
that there were
appreciate
cameras
you.
at this house, that they'd be able to get some video. And yeah, it might be tough, and there could be some challenges. Today, the FBI director raised the
Not
potential
sure
in a
yet,
social
Rocky.
media post
Hopefully,
that there could have been
we'll
recording
know
devices
soon.
that were removed from the home. Then you have
Don't
the
know where
technical
Nancy is.
challenges. Now, as we see clearly on the screen, this is a Nest camera. That is property of Google. And it's the reporting of our colleague, Tom Costello, and as well as Liz Kreutz, who's been reporting for us on the ground from Tucson. There was a lot of work with Google and the FBI to try to get to a point if they could find where this video was backed up or held somewhere. The FBI saying it was a back-end process of something clearly on a technical side that they were able somehow to recover this video. The specific way that they were able to do that, we don't know. Also, when they got this video, we don't know. We know that we first started hearing about this video this morning, approximately 10 a.m., that there would be something coming today, that it could be some surveillance. We didn't even know that it was surveillance video that we would be getting. Got that information, and we're able to get that information.
So, the person, they pulled them over today during a traffic stop. They had already pulled them over today during a traffic stop. That is how, and they said questions.
So they would have been able to start to look for some potential clues as they did this investigation.
Tom Winter, Tom, we're so glad to have you. Thank you for being with us and for keeping us abreast of all of these developments as they have come pretty fast and furious over the course of the last hour and a half.
Yeah, people are saying the band.
I want to bring in now security and
know.
cybersecurity expert Mark Rash. Mark, we're glad to have you too. The video, pick up on that thread here, and how this would have been able to be, rediscovered, discovered in the first place here, found, released, etc.
Sure. Well, the reports that we got originally were that there was a camera, but the camera had been taken by the kidnapper. So there was no camera on site. Now, typically, if you have a subscription to one of the cloud-based services, either by Google for the Nest camera or Amazon for the Ring camera, your images are going to be stored on a cloud server and you'll be able to access them. But if you don't have that subscription, and the reports were that Mrs. Guthrie did not have that service, then there's no place for it to be stored. They've taken the camera. It's not stored anywhere on the camera because that's gone, and it's not stored on the cloud. What I suspect happened here is that even if you don't have a subscription to the service, there is some degree of event data. That is something that's triggered when there's an event, like somebody at the front door, is uploaded to Google or to Nest by the camera that can be restored back from some server at Google. And I suspect that that's where these images that we're seeing came from. That requires a certain degree of technical sophistication, a certain degree of knowledge of the system. And it's not something that's done in every case. And it's in fact probably difficult to do.
It's also interestingly pretty clear, Mark. I mean, the images themselves, it's not that sort of grainy surveillance feed that you sometimes see in some of these instances. It's while it's not colorized, obviously, it's black and white, basically, it's from what appears to be the infrared. It's crisp.
And that would be true because it's digital data. And so it is captured and stored at whatever the resolution was of the camera. And increasingly, we're having high definition 4K cameras with artificial intelligence and all kinds of software around to enhance it. So we're getting much cleaner, much crisper pictures. And the reason that appears to be black and white is because it's in the middle of the night with no lights on. So it's not that it's a black and white camera, it's that the images are captured at a frequency and wavelength where you can't see light.
It's obviously a short clip. Is it your assumption then, Mark, and again, I know you have no nexus to the law enforcement piece of this, but typically if a camera is going to capture 5 seconds, it might capture 10, right? Or we don't know.
Well, they capture an incident or an event, and the event will be typically around that event. So it may be as much as a minute or two around the event. Now, if this person disabled the camera and disconnected it, then what you won't see is the next event, which is them leaving the house because the camera's already been disconnected at that point.
Mark Rash, we appreciate your expertise here in walking through this video and how law enforcement may have obtained it and been able to release it. We really appreciate that. I want to go back to our Chief Justice and National Affairs correspondent, Kelly O'Donnell.
He was driving.
Who was in Tucson for us. And Kelly, we've been talking about the potential that this could be a maybe break in the case in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And there have been so many people where you are, so many people around the country, so many people where I am, obviously our family up at the Today Show, who have been praying and hoping for some sort of break that would get Nancy Guthrie home safe. You have seen the community there in Tucson rally around her just intensely, Kelly.
Very much so. Neighbors, people that are passing by the locations where we've had a lot of our attention, Nancy Guthrie's home, Annie Guthrie's home, and so forth. This is a community, and people have been deeply rattled, shaken by this, not only on behalf of the Guthrie family, but they can imagine it in their own lives, how frightening these events have been, how unmooring these events have been. Tonight, we have some developments.
They were arrested in Rico, Arizona.
Also, questioning of an individual is a step. We don't know that it is going to lead to an arrest or answers. I'm old enough in this business to have been outside Richard Jewell's home for 14 hours in 1996 when authorities were convinced that he was the Atlanta Park bomber. He was not. A traffic stop involved in this. Timothy McVeigh was stopped by State Trooper Charlie Hanger in Oklahoma, and he was ultimately responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing. There are things that can happen that take us to a point of conclusion, or there are things that are a part of the work of law enforcement that is necessary work to get to the real answer, but perhaps in questioning or in getting tips, it is only part of the way there. So it's really important for people to be aware that this is a very noteworthy update tonight, but we have limits on what it means. Also, when there is questioning, that can go on for many hours if the individual is willing to talk.
I haven't heard anything about a medical helicopter.
So the expectation that something will break any moment, we just don't have any basis for that.
That's right. Yeah.
When the Pima County Sheriff's Office says no press conference, they're trying to set
They were arresting, or not arresting, they were detaining.
For information. People are desperate to have an answer, none more than the Guthrie family and our friend and colleague Savannah and her siblings. Imagine how much they are desperate for an answer. but we have to take it one beat at a time. We're working hard to report it out. Certainly the law enforcement is working very hard to do the difficult work, whether it's electronic or whether it's interviewing people, whether it's running down tips. There's just a lot going on here. And what we will try to do is process that and give it context for our audience. And as developments warrant, we will give new information. But right now, this is certainly a pivotal break in the case in terms of new images, in terms of someone being questioned, and also tips coming in that we know from authorities that that is the case. So that's the sense that I have. Being in Arizona during these days, certainly everyone we're encountering, we are talking to them about this. They have been struck by the national attention of this, the very local personal attention of it, and just human concern for a crime that is so
we got to think about this as well.
Has so altered the life of this family.
So these are the things that we know. We know that a person is detained right now, right? Yes, Claudia, just remind me, my dear. We know that a person is detained right now. They were picked up by car. Now, think about this. Nobody's talked about this. Think about this. They were pulled over during a traffic stop. But if this person is the person, that means Nancy wasn't with them. Okay, that means Nancy was not with them, which means either Nancy is somewhere else. Well, I mean, obviously Nancy's somewhere else, but she is either with someone else or the worst, right? So it can only mean one or the other. And because we obviously have not found Nancy yet, right? That means something is really not good, in my opinion. Yeah. So where is she? That's the big question. Where the hell is she? And hopefully, okay, we're getting a call. You're live.
Hey, Dustin. Just wanted to let you know JOR is reporting that an 84-year-old woman was airlifted to a hospital there in Tucson, and he's reporting on it now.
Okay, let's go to JLR. Let me go see here. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see what he says here. Okay, let me see here. All right, thank you so much. I got him on right now.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, babe. Bye-bye. Let me just at 8. I have not been able to confirm this. I just want to make sure, but we'll see. Someone could have said it in a chat or whatever. I don't know. I heard someone say that in this chat just a minute ago. One second. Rico. Is his volume not working? Okay. He's probably getting information. Okay.
Maybe the Fed will release a name soon. Maybe not. I'm going to the FBI building.
Let me back up and see what he said here.
JLR investigates. At JLR investigate. The person in out scene. They're like, if you got a crime scene, how's your deputy? What will we find? Thank you for the pizza. The person was like, don't deliver anything to the house. It's a crime scene. They're like, if the crime scene. You know, because they could bring this person in, out. I don't know if questioning. I don't know how this out on building. I'm on next at JLR Invest. Yeah, building. Could be some buzz too, because we know there's some cameras outside the FBI building. It says ETA for me. ETA would be to the FBI building would be. I got 53,000 watching. Everyone wants to know about this case.
Okay.
53,000.
Somebody will have to tell me.
Thank you very much for being here. JLR Investigates in Tucson. We're on our way to the FBI building. We'll try to see if we can find out anything about this person detained.
It is crazy.
Might just go. Nasty.
How do you know, Josh? How do you know?
They're probably not going to release anything.
I'll believe you if you give me some receipts, or if you call me, or text me, or email me.
All right, welcome to Tucson. I made it from the Catalina foothills down to Tucson.
What is this? Okay, hold on. Wait. Getting stuff in.
Uh-oh. I gotta turn. I'll turn here. Might have went the wrong way. We're good.
Guys getting stuff in.
4 minutes away.
Were they?
Go past this light. Then, at the next one, use the middle lane to turn left onto North Freeway Road.
North Freeway Road.
Okay. Okay, so
left onto North Freeway Road.
We don't. Okay, let me make something clear. We don't know if it's an 84-year-old woman. I just checked. I just checked. We don't know if it's an 84-year-old woman. But what we do know is that, it's Tucson. So, but a medical flight flew out of Rico. Allegedly. Okay. So let's hope that it's something like that, but we'll just have to see in just a second. Kind of have to wait. Don't know the age. You can't tell. Nobody's going to know the age.
Turn left onto North Bonita Avenue.
All right, almost there.
Head south on North Bonita Avenue.
It's at the back of this corporate center.
Rico is 12 miles.
Right
Rico. I keep saying Rico.
North Commerce Park.
Rico. Riorico.
Does anyone know the location where the suspect was picked up in Riorico? We can also go there.
Turn right onto North Commerce Park Loop.
If we don't get any action here, was it like a safe house, or but it was a traffic stop.
Traffic stop.
Where's the vehicle?
I'd like to know where the vehicle. It's probably impounded right now. It's probably impounded.
In 600 feet, turn right into the parking lot.
All right, this is the FBI building.
I tell you, someone showed a picture of the electrician.
Dude, it's all gated up. Look.
Yeah, I can tell you. Yeah. Oh, was he trying to go to the FBI?
There's nobody here.
So at the FBI headquarters where I'm at, you can't get in. You can walk up to, no, you can't walk up to any of it, actually. No.
Turn right into the parking lot, then keep right.
Let's go explore a minute. Dude, everything is gated up.
I don't really know if there's anything
Dude, it's like
that
Fort
he can
Knox.
show this evening, to be honest with you.
It's crazy.
Hope we can find something, but
Head toward North Bonita Avenue.
it's hard when you're out on the road like that because you can't research or anything, and you've got to constantly like be showing.
See? It's all gated up.
People
The FBI building.
Stuff. Okay, we're gonna go to this. Bear with me.
See activity?
Okay. We're going to go to Savannah.
That's the
Turn left into the parking
Yep,
lot.
12 miles from the border.
FBI building.
1 second. Okay.
Somebody's going through the gate. Dude, they could be bringing the suspect here. Somebody was going through the gate on the side.
They got him this afternoon. They already had him this afternoon. They were supposed to be questioning him.
I'm not gonna go on their property.
No, don't go on the property, JLR. I'll go on the property. Okay, so we're gonna go to Savannah's sister or home parent because this is interesting. I want to
remember there was a $50,000 reward for those tips. So anyone who knows him, even if
anything
they're
happens,
also a
I'll
criminal,
let you
might
know
be
on
trying to
that.
collect that money.
And when you look at this, Eric, do you notice are there any specific clues that you have keyed in on throughout the course of the hours where this video has been out? I mean, I look at, for example, and I know this has been mentioned, the position of the holster and what appears to be the gun. That could be something distinctive that may give a signal. The way that the sort of the reflective stripes on the backpack, that particular kind of backpack or particular kind of jacket. What are you looking at most closely when you look at this?
Certainly. I'm also looking at the way he moves. I'm looking at any kind of physical characteristics we can see, like it appears he has a mustache, the shape of his eyes. If you know a person, you recognize their eyes. And the FBI is also able to use through their next generation identification AI to enhance images. And I'm sure that these...
Someone sent me allegedly a picture of the person that did the electrical in Nancy's a month ago, and his eyes look very striking, I gotta say. So that's interesting
just like his mask, his backpack, the holster on the gun. And the other thing I might note about this person is he walks up very slowly and calmly.
True.
It's feeling less like a kidnapping to me
That's
and
a good
more
point.
like a home invasion that might have gone
Looks
wrong.
like Hannibal Lecter.
And so I'm concerned that, and I certainly hope that we do find Nancy Guthrie.
Yeah.
He's definitely not, I don't think he's a professional
Describing as
by any
almost
means.
What appears to be
But Nancy wasn't with this person in the car
the person is
today.
walking up to the home.
I would be shocked if she's alive. I would. I'll be honest.
Casualness about it. He seemed surprised by the Nest camera, and the clothing.
I don't think he
in
was
addition
surprised. I
to
just think he
looking
didn't know.
at retailers that are selling this clothing, they're going to compare video footage from the local
I don't want
convenience
to
stores,
show the
gas
pic right
stations,
now. I don't know.
places
Maybe I
that
will.
other cameras have been located that might capture an individual wearing similar clothing.
Evie, to you on that point.
Seriously?
And what you can glean
You'll have
from
to
this video based on what you're seeing as Eric
Let
and
me
Andy
see
has,
here.
has
You'll have to
described
send me
the
a link
movements of this
or
individual,
email it to me.
You know, how do you assess the level of sophistication or not when it comes to this crime?
Well, you know, I'll tell you this, and I really liked what Andy said earlier when he was talking about the items that the person's wearing and where they were sourced. That's something you can do. You know, I'll give you an example. In the U.S. Secret Service, we get a lot of handwritten notes and things from people, threats and all that. Do you know that we were able to locate the type of ink, who manufactured the pen that the ink came from, where that pen was manufactured, where it was sold, and geolocate areas as to which the stores or where something was outsourced. So you can do that with clothing and with items, you know, especially if it's something that's unique or if it's sold in a specific area. It can kind of really help you kind of hone in as to the location of this person. Really important. Now, again, movement and gait and all that. When people are looking at this footage, you're looking at, does somebody know this person and they recognize them, like a family member who's immediately going to say, oh my goodness, I know those eyes or I know that face, or somebody who may have come into contact. So when I think of kidnappings or whatnot, I think of maybe a rented vehicle. So this person could have gone to rent a vehicle, and maybe the person who rented them that vehicle says, you know what, that person looks quite familiar.
I don't know how they would know
if they
that.
Stopped in to buy supplies,
But I'm looking.
right? Jim and I were talking about this earlier. What's in his backpack? Did he go buy supplies before he went to Nancy's house?
It really would,
duct tape,
Carly.
all these different things. That person that works at that hardware store, supply store might say, you know what, somebody came in earlier, made all these purchases. So you're looking really to kind of, it's almost like all these little dots that everybody's trying to connect. And with that, you know, with the FBI being involved, they're great connectors of these dots. I really, you know, just giving them credit as to
That's
the
what they do.
sophistication and the ability and the manpower and resources that they can put behind this to connect all these dots. So yes, the local police, you know, they are doing their thing, but having the weight and the resources of somebody like the FBI who do this over and over again, who have trained professionals, who have connections with private companies, it's something that they ongoing do that's really going to really help open the floodgates here.
Jim, let's center on Nancy Guthrie.
They do
the
that.
Search for
That's
her,
the sad thing.
wherever she is.
They do
and
that.
This individual here being questioned.
Red
How
shirt.
long would a questioning like that, an interview like that,
And
take?
that's the
Evie has
problem.
alluded
People
to, you know, it
think
could be
making
lengthy
up
here.
stories
What
is
what tends to be typical
funny
if
or
there is something
whatever,
that's typical
and
in that instance?
it will spread
Well, there's
like
going to be a number of hours, I would
in a
say,
case
but I
like
mean,
this.
they're going to want the cooperation right away for the location of Nancy if they really think the person they're questioning is one of the perpetrators. They're going to be really wanting that information, and they're going to be laying it on pretty thick. You know, you better tell us where she is. This is, you know, this is important. Maybe she's alive. We want to get to her, even if she's passed away. You better tell us right away. Maybe it'll be better for you. You know, we'll tell the prosecutor you cooperated and so forth. But, you know, you really got to convince the guy. He's under a lot of stress if he is the actual abductor. And, you know, so that questioning, like we're all describing, is from trained interrogators. They're going through that, trying to glean that information. They're centered on locating Nancy. But going back, building on what Evie was saying, and we all should think about the pre-offense behavior of Saturday daytime.
Okay.
So here's this guy that we see on the film. What's he doing when he gets up Saturday morning? Okay, what is he doing? Is he going to get coffee at the local coffee shop? Like Evie described, the hardware store to get some duct tape and zip ties or something else? Later on in the afternoon,
How far out?
is he like we talked about? Maybe he's going in the desert to sleep. Is he going in to get some hamburgers or going to eat somewhere? All these pre-offense activities can be spotted with this attire. If he's probably wearing that jean jacket and pants, and maybe even the backpack. Probably not the gun, you know, obvious, but it is Arizona, so you can walk around with a gun exposed. But you know, somebody might have recognized him and called in. So that's
Don't know if
where
there's
we
a
are. The
rescue.
pre-offense
We really
behavior
don't.
might have tripped him up.
Jim Kavanaugh, Eric, Andy,
His
Evie,
body's
we're so
wide.
grateful to you for your expertise and for your analysis here as we've
it's
been in
creepy,
this
that's for
live
damn
breaking
sure.
coverage of what NBC News has learned. What the Pima County Sheriff's Office has now confirmed, that a person is
Hold on.
being detained, is being questioned in the case of Nancy Guthrie. It happened during a traffic stop. You see the statement from
You
the
see,
Sheriff's
hold
Office
on.
there. We thank all
I just
of you
wanna-
for your analysis.
I just want everyone to not get your hopes up, because I again, there's other things that there's other medical helicopters right now in the desert right now. I think one is military. So, we'll know more. Okay, live reporting right here.
Yes, I think the Pima County Sheriff's Department, in saying there would not be a press conference, is really a response to many questions and inquiries, probably from the media, because the presence of media here is very significant. We have seen people from all the major outlets, lots of regional outlets. There's even an international component to this because of the attention around it. So they've probably been flooded with questions. And this is a way for them to put out a statement to give people some facts, some information, traffic stop, questioning, and also saying there isn't going to be anything to say right
God.
away.
Okay.
They need time to do this work, as our experts on the panel
I see you. I'm going to
have
send you something.
real life
I need you to
experience with these
check this,
situations. And
please.
there may be intense questioning. There may be rapport building. There may be trying to buy some time by talking about various things, bringing in something to eat or drink, and trying to keep that individual who is being subjected to questioning participating, cooperating. We don't know those details. So our viewers should not have an expectation that there's going to be some short-term next step. This may
more people are talking about this electrician. I've got a picture of him allegedly. I will show it to you, but again, I cannot tell you anything about this person as far as anything. I can just tell you what, and I will say that the eyes, in my opinion, are striking. But you'll just have to give me a second.
in Tucson and in the Catalina Foothills community, where Nancy Guthrie has made her home for a very long time. Yeah. What really stands out today is that after so much waiting,
you to check
there
that,
were
please.
important developments today. There were some significant new pieces of information, and that's what is holding our attention tonight, and it's causing us to ask a lot of good questions, and it will take more time to get answers to those questions. But our experts on the panel really laid out a lot of what would be happening behind the scenes and what law enforcement would try to elicit through this process. And as this is happening now, there might be other tips coming in.
Of course.
After one person is taken into custody, someone might feel like they have a piece of information that could be worth pursuing as well. Allie?
Plenty to watch. Kelly O'Donnell live for us there in Tucson. Kelly, thank you. And obviously, our hearts, our thoughts are with our friend, our colleague, a member of our NBC News family, Savannah Guthrie, in the search for her mother, Nancy. That does it for our special report here on NBC News Now, but we'll come back on the air with any
please don't run with it, right? Like, don't be like...
Here on NBC News Now, learning that a man has been detained by law enforcement for questioning in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, according to a person familiar with the matter. You've been watching our coverage. It's coming, of course, just about 8 hours after the FBI released images of this person here. Somebody in a mask, somebody in gloves, somebody who is tampering with the camera at Guthrie's doorway, putting what appeared to be at one point flowers or plants over the camera. You see that backpack on this person's back as well. It is still not clear if the person who's been detained for questioning is the individual that you're looking at here.
Allegedly,
I want to bring in our national law
I've got an
enforcement
address
correspondent Tom Winter
as well,
who's been among the tips of the spear here in the investigation. Tom,
the
tell us what you're hearing from your sources.
Thanks, Hallie. And of course,
and the hair.
just
Look
part
at the
of a large team here, including our colleagues, Andy Blankstein,
and the eyebrows,
who's
and the
in
eyes.
Tucson
Big
right now,
eyes.
covers law enforcement for us there, as well as my colleague, Jonathan Dienst here in New York. And what we're hearing tonight, as you've laid out there, is that a person has been detained for questioning.
Holy
no arrest warrant has been signed out.
I've had this for a little bit. I wouldn't show it
released,
earlier.
ultimately not charged, and ultimately not believed to be tied to this case. What they're doing is they're reviewing a host of information and potential evidence that at this hour, including obviously that video, trying to see
I got
if
an
this is the person
address
in the video.
too.
They're going to want to look for some of the things
And
that are seen in that video. Is it on this person?
allegedly,
now that they have a person that they can question and a potential name,
electrician that did work on her
here,
house.
Hallie, is they want to see, okay, did this person ever purchase
All
these
happened
types
when
of
the
gloves
media
that we're
was
looking at
being
on
baited
screen?
in Annie's
Did this
neighborhood
person ever
today.
purchase this
The
mask,
street is shut
that
down now.
backpack, that jacket,
Allegedly.
that shirt, anything else, the gun for sure. Find all of that. See if any of those things,
I don't know.
excuse me, see if any of those things were actually located on this person, in their
The
vehicle,
lips and the mustache
in
look
their
really.
home. We're trying to get all of that information. All of that
He's a
needs to be
clean boy,
properly
but
done
again,
through legal channels.
the eyes.
And so some of that can take some time. There are exigent circumstances
eyes.
because we are talking about the life of our colleague, the mother of Savannah Guthrie, obviously Nancy Guthrie, but it all needs to be done correctly, because if this
Maybe.
is the person that is
You see,
ultimately
the thing
arrested
about
and
this
charged,
is
there will
it's
now
black
be a
and white.
trial. And so there is a complex kind of legal process that needs to be followed
Okay,
here.
look at this. See this one?
Investigation has been
Now look at this one.
rapidly unfolding throughout the day. Started, we believe, yesterday afternoon. We're trying to get some clarity on that as more information has come forward. And as NBC News first
This
reported
one?
last Friday night, investigators were looking for a vehicle to see whether or not
This
it was
one?
connected with the case, and actually have been able to get video from a local business. In the course of doing that work, they came up with a specific vehicle description. That description we
it's
have
the
withheld
goatee
up
and
until this
the
point.
lips,
We'll continue
the bottom
to
lips,
uphold,
and the
to
eyes
hold
for
back
me.
that information until this individual is charged, just in case this is not the person that is ultimately charged in the case. But there are some similarities we are starting to hear between the two things. So we're trying to get some more
Allegedly,
information
that's the
tonight, trying to
electrician.
figure out all the pieces of the puzzle that may have gotten to this point.
Not it's the electrician. Allegedly,
but obviously
people are
this
saying it's the
investigation is robust,
electrician.
has been ongoing, and certainly their analysis of the video
I've got
started before
an
12:50
address.
when the FBI director released it today.
What a night.
Of course.
What a
and
night.
I think it's worth noting here, Tom, the accelerated pace of the investigation here, because what we
My
don't know, what we
God.
can't definitively say
My
based
head
on
is
you and the team's
spinning.
reporting that the person we're looking at here is the same person who's being detained for questioning. You could potentially, it seems, draw a line between the release of this video, the fact that the FBI made a concerted effort to get this out in a very public, very high profile way, and what we have now, which is word that somebody has been detained for questioning, after 9.5 basically agonizing days of having very little information.
That's exactly right. And one of the things you want to do in an investigation like this is when you get evidence like this that can push a suspect, you want to see if there's anybody that you're looking for, if this is ultimately the person that's charged. Did they start to get on the move? Did they start to travel? Did they start to do anything in the course of whatever they were up to at the moment?
Is that the place?
Is there anything that they do at that time that helps kind of corroborate your theory or leads you to believe that it is now the time to make an arrest? So I'm just using historical examples. Whenever we've seen these types of videos go out before, whoever's in that video now knows, one, that video exists. Two, that video exists of me. And so maybe I need to do something, change it up. Do I get on a phone I hadn't been using? Do I start to, if somebody's under surveillance, start to
barber
act in a
shop?
way, either electronically or in person, that would get investigators pause to then dig deeper or perhaps take somebody into custody? Again, all questions we'll see if they apply to this case. We don't know yet for sure if that will work in this case, if that is something that's been occurring. But that's the basics of what we know at this hour. Admittedly, very little. We just know that there's a person being questioned, and we don't know whether or not they'll ultimately be charged. There's a lot of different facets of this investigation. We're kind of waiting to see if those become true.
And I appreciate that, Tom, because I think it's important context here that this is a piece potentially of the puzzle. It is not the whole puzzle, because obviously we still don't know anything about where Nancy Guthrie is, Tom. And I wonder, in the course of the many conversations that I know you and the team have been having, is there anything that stands out to you, something that you've heard, let's say, again and again from law enforcement experts or analysts about the video that we're seeing here? In other words, is there a particular thread or clue or hint that they have keyed in on throughout the course of the evening here that could be important?
I don't know, because this has all happened so quickly this evening. I mean, we got a sense it's currently 10:06 on the East Coast. I would say.
So, according to Jennifer Coffindaffer, former FBI agent and YouTuber, she says, just a few moments ago, According to the FBI, there is more than one person of interest in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. This was expected, but good to have confirmation. So she is saying that there is allegedly more than one person of interest, which I would agree. I think a lot of us nope, it's not Tommaso, baby. Person just texted me. It's not Lolo. That didn't send anything. It just said from X. So there's that. Something rotten in Denmark. Again, okay, I'll show you the picture again, but I just want to show you guys that this is no, not in her opinion. Confirmed. This is allegedly unconfirmed by me. A potential person that was an electrical person that did allegedly work for Nancy. It was an electrical upgrade from what I understand. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. All right. So, okay, we're going to go to JLR real quick. He's at the hospital. Let's see what he says here.
Went through it's crazy. They make you go through metal detectors.
I don't think that Nancy's there, just to be honest with you.
The person is not here at the hospital.
Yeah, I agree.
So sheriff's office, that's our next Pima County Sheriff's Department. What sheriff's office would it be? What's their main one?
I don't think there's going to be a lot of access tonight.
Pima County Sheriff's Office.
JLR's worked his ass off today. Okay.
A lot of people say Benson Highway.
Yeah,
we're gonna go down to Benson Highway.
1 second.
Dude, that thing is taking off.
Yeah, it's always taking off though.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Okay, guys, this is interesting.
All right, we're going to go over to the Benson Highway.
We're going to come back to this while JLR travels and all that. But this is interesting. There's some quotes in this one that's just breaking. And this is from Green Valley News. I assume this is in Arizona. Just broke 10 minutes ago. Investigators searching Rio Rico property in the Guthrie case. Again, Rio Rico. This is confirmed now. And listen to the quotes here. Investigators are searching a property in Rio Rico in connection with the Nancy Guthrie case. Santa Cruz County Sheriff David Hathaway said Tuesday night that he called about 5 p.m. today and asked to provide deputies for support. Quote, "It's in Rio Rico. That's all I can tell you." Quote, end quote. Hathaway said, quote, "We're not running the case. We don't have details," end quote. So this news called the Santa Cruz County Sheriff David Hathaway in Rio Rico, and he says that this investigation is indeed connected in Rio Rico to the Nancy Guthrie case. He says they're not, when he says we're not running the case, he means his office isn't working the Nancy Guthrie case. That's all he can say. So about 8:30 p.m., the Pima County Sheriff's Department said deputies detained a person of interest in the case during a traffic stop south of Tucson. 8:30 local time. 8:30 local time. So it is what, 11:15. What time is it in Arizona right now? It's 11:15 here. 10:15, 9:15. So like an hour ago? The deputies made an announcement after several national news outlets reported somebody had been detained in the case. The department said in a brief social media post that additional details would be made as more become available. Several national media outlets reported Tuesday evening that a person had been detained in connection to the Guthrie, mother of today's show's host, Savannah Guthrie. So the main part about this, very important, is we can now confirm, according to the Green Valley News, I'm assuming that is local, that this is in Rio Rico. Thank you so much, Wanda. I appreciate you. I just want to make it clear, what's what, you know what I mean. Thank you so much, Whatever Clever. FBI doc on eye biometrics, search iris recognition. Yeah. Yes, they can. I hope they have good enough. Yeah. So we can confirm now that it is in Rio Rico, and this is confirmed not only from the Green Valley News, but they are saying that it is from the Santa Cruz County Sheriff David Hathaway that he said, and they're not working the case. So very, very interesting. Rio Rico. And who's in Rio Rico? By the way, that is only 12. Hold on, let me see here. I might have it. Rio Rico, by the way, is unincorporated. It's unincorporated. Rio Rico is an unincorporated community in the census designated place in Santa Cruz County. The population is 18,962 as of 2010 census. The Rio Rico CDP replaced the former CDP of Rio Rico Northwest. Okay. It is almost literally on the border of Mexico. So this is very interesting that this came in. Okay, so we know that this person is in Rio Rico, and that should help us quite a bit. Damn, did I just exit out of here? Okay, I'm good. Yeah, well, Skylar, then how about this? Nobody's saying we are trying to find the confirmation. And if you can do better than the news or myself, then please start a channel, create a news station. How about that? Get on it, baby. All right. Moving forward, we are all trying to figure it out right now. Okay. Did come from the area. 1 second, was drunk. Yeah, there is still more things saying that people is saying that Nancy could potentially be at a hospital, but I again have nothing to confirm. Nothing to confirm that. Someone was in the house and a guy was on the porch. What do you mean, Tommy? Yeah, just Jesse. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's easy to bitch, right? It's easy to bitch and complain. New thing coming out here. Oh, bless her. Okay. 1 second. Do you have the flight radar? We can check. Yeah, but this is the thing, guys. I don't know how. Let me look at this. Let me look at this Twitter real quick. Not Twitter. And just see real quick. 1 second. To make sure. Oh, I hope she was rescued too, but this I don't know. They keep saying this. It would be a freaking miracle. And I hope it's a miracle. I believe in miracles. Tucson. But this is the thing. It's Tucson. Tucson is a very big city. It's a very, very big city. And we just, there's a lot. There's a lot. You know what I mean? Let me check here 1 second. What JLR is doing. Real quick. Diamond Children's Hospital.
So stand by, folks. I'm just trying to get some information. The media is here. I'm here with the media.
Oh God. His post. I hope he's. Oh, I think somebody called him. That's what usually happens.
Sorry. I'm here. We froze up for a second.
No, the traffic stop. The traffic stop happened at 8:30 at Pima. 1 second. East of Tucson. It just east of Tucson is said.
All right. The media just said not connected to Nancy. Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know.
My viewers told me to come here.
Hey, man, I don't know for sure. So don't quote.
Yeah.
Don't quote.
But you got your source. Who's you with?
I've got sources. I'm with one of the local medias. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's telling me to come down here too.
Yeah,
Right, so
I don't.
told him
I just
not
don't think we're going to
connected
know
Nancy,
that.
But I'm not quoting on that.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Please. I got a.
He's packing it up. They're packing it up.
Got
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything. I think it's in.
We could go to the sheriff's office now.
Okay, hold on. More stuff coming in. Guys, please hit the thumbs up button.
Hang on, one sec, Robert. Hang on.
Okay.
Sheriff, court authorized search underway.
That's what I was getting ready to read.
So what's going on south of?
Okay. I was going to tell JLR, text him this as well. So there is a court authorized search. I want to show it to you. Let me show you this right here. Right here. I'm going to show it to you on the map. Very important. In my opinion, and I think it'll be in your opinion too, maybe. Check this out. All right. The person of interest in the abduction of Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy Guthrie, was detained in Rio Rico, which is about an hour away. Tucson, from Mexico. 1 second. That's not what I was trying to read here. Am I showing you the same map? Yeah, okay. All right. Update. The Pima County Sheriff's Department assisted by the FBI Evidence Response Team is conducting a court-authorized search of a location in Rico, Arizona, related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. That's where JLR needs to go, in my opinion, is Rio Rico. Check message. Okay. One second, guys. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Okay. This is good. This is good. Okay. Here we go, guys. Look at this. This is the location. Santa Cruz Sheriff vehicles outside of the residence in Rio Rico, Arizona. Damn. Damn. Look at that. This is where they are at right now. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Okay. Okay. Brian Enton is there right now. Go live, Brian. Come on, man.
Hey guys, so I just got to Rio Rico, Arizona.
I love how he always waves.
Where the subject was pulled over in the case involving Nancy Guthrie. You know, there's this person who's being questioned right now. This is where the traffic stop was, right here, Rio Rico, Arizona.
Rio Rico is unincorporated.
The person may also live in this area, though I'm not sure. They've got the roads closed out here. I literally just got here. They're just calling it a subject right now, not a person of interest, not a suspect. Sorry, the lighting is really bad out here. But that's the latest. Let me go talk to some people and see what I can find out. But again, this is Rio Rico, Arizona. This is where the person was detained. And the latest from my sources is, unfortunately, you know, they have not located Nancy Guthrie, but they do have this person detained and being questioned right now, not being called a person of interest, not being called a suspect. So that's I'm right near the border, by the way. This is right near the Mexico border. Very, 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 very
I mean,
close.
it's right on the border.
Hey guys, so I just got to Rio Rico,
in.
Arizona, and this is where the subject was pulled over in the case involving Nancy Guthrie. You know, there's this person who's being questioned right now. This is where the traffic stop was, right here, Rio Rico, Arizona. And it appears that the person may also live in this area, though I'm not sure. They've got the roads closed out here. I literally just got here. They're just calling it a subject right now, not a person of interest, not a suspect.
All right, here we go.
Sorry, the lighting is really bad out here.
Right after this, I'm going to show you
But
something.
that's
I
the
got
latest.
more
Let me
stuff
go
in.
talk to some people and see what I can find out. But again, this is Rio Rico, Arizona. This is where the person was detained. And the latest from my sources is, unfortunately, they have not located Nancy Guthrie, but they do have this person detained and being questioned right now, not being called a person of interest, not being called a suspect. So that's I'm right near the border, by the way. This is right near the Mexico border. Very, 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 very close. Hey guys,
Okay.
so I just got to Rio
So we
Rico,
got that.
Arizona,
Now,
and this is where the subject.
More stuff coming in right here. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that thumbs up button. Fox News Digital, a large police presence is spotted in Rio Rico. Let me show you this photo that's coming in clutch right now. All right, this is Rio Rico. Ricola. That's what it reminds me of. And they are saying... maybe. A large police presence was spotted in Rio Rico after the person was detained by law enforcement questioning in connection of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Rio Rico is less than 15 miles north of Port of Nogales, a premier U.S.-Mexico border gateway. Fox News digital cameras captured multiple police units in the area of Rio Rico late Tuesday evening. The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department are to carry out a court-authorized search, that's quote-unquote court-authorized search, at the location as part of the investigation into the Guthrie disappearance. A spokeswoman for the Sheriff's Department said the operation is expected to last several hours. Yeah. Thank you so much, Becky. Appreciate that. Would there be a pond or a lake there? Probably not. It's about as dry as a bone in this area. Of course, the neighbors are, I guess, standing outside. Only 15 miles from the border, but it's starting to pop off now that we know where kind of we're looking at now. And I'm trying. Oh, wait a second. 1 second here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to find... I just thought of something. Damn. Give me a second, guys. Where is that coming from? Give me a second, guys. Okay. What the fuck? Okay. All right. I'm waiting for... Ooh. Okay. Here we go.
That it's there as well. You're going to do the normal crime scene stuff that we all hear about. You're going to search the house to see if there's any indication that she was there at any point. But to sort of try to read the tea leaves of the house to see, okay, she's not here. Where could she have gone?
Where is
You're going to
she?
want to look for the kind of stuff like, is there something missing that could indicate somebody else is involved? Stuff like that. It's tough to look in a house that nobody's there. You don't know if the victim was even there, to figure out where in the world could she be off of this house. What can this house tell me? But I can tell you what you can do is you can start knocking on doors. I lose track of the time. I'm on New York time. It's actually not that late here. So 9:30, whatever it is, you can start knocking on the doors. You say, what's the story with this guy? Did you see anything going into the house? Did you see him coming out of the house? Did you see him carrying somebody? Anything like that? Something that could give you a timeline of when he might have been there with her, if he was. And then also, again, all the stuff we've been talking about relative to Nancy's home, which is video that's around the home. Things like the license plate readers. You're going to try to do everything you can to track this guy so that you can see if he's been going to a particular location or went to a particular location in the immediate aftermath of that night. And that's the kind of stuff that you're looking for. You're trying to actually build yourself a time machine to go backwards.
Yeah, a time machine that works rapidly. Paul, thank you. It's important that we kind of get an idea of how we got here to this point, because this point is critical. We're getting breaking news almost every 4 or 5 minutes. I want to say that the FBI Director, Kash Patel, is kind of shedding some new light on how the FBI is working with big tech companies to help crack this case. The senior national correspondent, Kevin Cork, is live for us in D.C. with an update on this. Kevin, good evening.
Great job out there, Trace. Evening to you. Now, we've actually heard from local officials, in fact, just last week, that they effectively reached a dead end when it came to Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera because she didn't have a subscription. But tonight, FBI Director Kash Patel is hailing a public-private partnership with Google for helping to recover the footage that was released today, which White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt says has been reviewed by the president.
I think anyone who was involved in this depraved crime, this abduction, of course, we want to be seen held to the fullest extent of the law possible.
Indeed. Meantime, there are also new questions tonight about the level of coordination between local and federal officials. Our friends over at Fox News Digital report that law enforcement sources describe what they called a delay in cooperation between local and federal investigators, suggesting that days went by before the feds were able to get involved. And of course, we have also received word from our friends at Digital within the past few hours that the FBI's elite hostage rescue team is in Tucson tonight, Trace. We're keeping an eye on that, as well as, again, as you point out, we get new information almost every few minutes. Back to you.
Yeah. Guys,
indeed, Kevin Cork live for us in DC. Kevin, if you hear something else, flag us. We'll put you back on. Meantime, Clem, Border Patrol Chief Paul Morrow, Josh Ritter, and Kirk Knudsen.
Earlier,
Chris, welcome back in. I mean, since
remember they said
walked away a few minutes ago, we now know that the person who was not arrested, the person who was detained in Rio Rico, which we now know is 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the Mexican border. Now they've got a court-authorized order to be able to go in and search a location. That's all they're saying is a location. We don't know if it's a home. We don't know if it's a warehouse. We don't know if it's an apartment. We just know there's a location. And my guess is that they're going to be out there for the better part of the evening.
I agree. What we do know is you have to have probable cause to get that warrant signed by the judge. So that's good, right? So the information that we've seen play out through the day, right? We had video surveillance finally released. Then we have information about, we're trying to figure out the timing, but they did have somebody detained. And now we know that there was a warrant issued, right? So now the federal agencies, the state and local, everybody that's working on this is going to be clamping down on there. Another crime scene, going to treat it like that. And as Bob Krieger mentioned earlier, you're going to be looking for every piece of information that you can find that may be related to this case. No stone is going to be left unturned, especially now when you got that judicial warrant.
Yeah, I want to think, because, John Nance, former FBI, was talking about, what happens when you release the SWAT teams, right? And I want to play this soundbite. It's soundbite number 13, Greg, if you would. But this is John Nance, former FBI, on deployment of SWAT, because we spent a lot of the afternoon. Jonathan Hunt called us and said, well, for the first time, I've been here for 9 days, and for the first time in 9 days, we just saw the SWAT units take off. And they did take off. And they were joined not just by the Pima County SWAT team, but by other police departments in the area's SWAT team. So this was a force to be reckoned with. And they started heading south on Interstate 10, and that's where we kind of lost them at one point in time. It appears they were going to Rio Rico, but John Nance, former FBI, had the following to say, and he was spot on. Watch.
Anytime you have SWAT deployed, you're looking at, an imminent arrest. You could have a hostage rescue situation, but it's obviously indicative of something major developing in the case. SWAT isn't present just simply to be present. So it's a clear indication that there has been some actionable intelligence.
Yeah. And the key phrase there is that you are looking at an imminent arrest, and we knew when those SWAT vans pulled out that something was afoot.
Yeah, John was right. You do not send in the cavalry. Resources are precious. Time is of the essence. You cannot afford to send that many resources down to an area just on a hunch, right? They've got actionable intelligence. That's the key, right? Information that leads to actionable intelligence. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody is doing in this case since the minute it broke, is looking for information. And now what we've seen, or at least what is playing out before our eyes right now, is actionable intelligence. They got a warrant and they're out there doing the job. So to send those.
Going to come right back to this, but I want to show you this video with boots on the ground right there. Give me 1 second. So here we go. Going to give credit to ABC 15.
Another big update in the search for Nancy Guthrie here in Rio Rico. This is south of Tucson, north of the border, north of Nogales, Arizona. You can see behind me, this is off of a frontage road. Camino Gusto is blocked off by the Pima County Sheriff's Department. And they just confirmed to me in person here just a few minutes ago that this is connected to this statement that they released on their X account, saying earlier today, Pima County Sheriff's Department deputies detained a suspect during a traffic stop.
8:30 local time.
The suspect is currently being questioned in connection to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. They say that additional details will be forthcoming. They also said that they have many more units coming.
There is 2 people of interest.
A little bit further away so that they have room for many of these. Well, so certainly an active investigation. We're going to stay on top of this.
Scratch that. There's not 2 people of interest here, but according to Jennifer Koffendorfer, she says, former FBI, she says there is more than 1 person of interest, but we don't know. That we just know right here that this is connected. And this is just 1 person from what I understand. So we're just kind of waiting for that. Okay, we're going to get back to this Fox News here. Get on that.
Lose out on what could potentially be valuable information and evidence down the road. And so, I think you're absolutely right. Unless you've got a situation where you feel like there's danger and you need SWAT involved, if you're looking for evidence, you're looking for a person, you're going to want to make sure that you get those warrants. I think it's also important, too, to understand that
they said it's going to take hours.
This location that they're searching, we're making assumptions. Is it a house? Is it a place of work? It could have also been supplied by the person they
got a court
that person
order.
Could have said, hey, by the way, go take a look here. And they're being smart by making sure, even with that information, they're getting a warrant before they go out there and start collecting evidence or something else.
Yeah, I just, Paul Morrow, it's important to get your perspective here because you have a unique perspective because you've been on both sides. You've been on the legal side. You've been on the investigative side. Is that kind of the pattern that you would follow is you get the warrant and then you go, or you get the person and then you get the warrant?
Look, if you can get the warrant first, it's always safely traced because you've papered it and you got the judge's consent, you got the judge's order in hand. And so as long as you stay within the 4 corners of that warrant, everything's going to be legally admissible later at trial. As Josh mentioned, you don't have any problems with suppression of evidence that you really, really need. The other thing going on here is, as you have mentioned, is whether or not he lawyers up, so to speak, if in fact this goes that far. And, there are some nuances even to that, because one of the things that can happen when you get a lawyer is the lawyer can tell you something like, look, if
we saw it.
You
Cindy,
are
showed
ever
it a second ago,
going to see anything like the light of day or just try to mitigate this terrible situation you put yourself in, help me to help you. And Arizona is, according to what I'm being told, one of the states where a lawyer can actually break privilege if life and limb are at stake. So the lawyer, actually, this is very rare, a lawyer can actually go against the client's right of the lawyer not to speak about what they talk about relevant to the case. So if he in fact gleans that, look, he does know where she is, he is the guy, and he told me something. So there's a lot of nuances legally blowing through this. We don't even know if he's under arrest, and we don't know where they're searching. But as you keep mentioning rightly, we're up against the clock here, and everybody wants to do the right thing except the perp. And so there's a lot of ways to try to get to Nancy here, and I just hope that everybody's thinking that way.
Yeah, it really is amazing to think that the state that she lived in and the laws that they practiced could end up eventually saving her life. I want to bring in Kurt Knudsen back into the conversation because, you know, I'm kind of fascinated about this location. Again, we don't know anything about the location. It could be an apartment, right? House. As they were saying, it could be an open field. We don't know anything about this, Kurt. But if you are going in, as you say, where a big chunk of evidence is always some type of cyber evidence, right? Electronic evidence. If you're going in there, what are you going into this location looking for if you're Kurt Knudsen and you're a curious guy?
Let me just tell you, with regard to investigating and papering, if indeed this is a suspect, first of all, within...
I'm going to mute this. There is some new Brian Inton. Our boy Brian coming in clutch, of course. Very interesting information. Him and JLR are hard work.
Hey guys, so I just got to Rio Rico, Arizona, and this is where the subject was pulled over in the case involving Nancy Guthrie. You know, there's this person is being questioned right now. This is where the traffic stop was. Right here, Rio Rico, Arizona, and it appears that the person may also live in this area, though I'm not sure. They've got the roads closed out here. I literally just got here. They're just calling it a subject right now, not a person of interest, not a suspect.
Thank you for getting me out here. Thank you, baby.
But that's the latest. Let me go talk to some people and see what I can find out. But again, this is Rio Rico, Arizona. This is where the person was detained. And the laser my sources, unfortunately, you know, they have not located Nancy Guthrie.
I didn't think we showed this one. We showed this one already. I thought he did something different. I apologize, y'all. Let me get back to the Fox News.
And at what times? Take all that data together. Now you've got a way to get into court and prove, all right, you're going to jail. And then also, where could Nancy Guthrie be right now?
Yeah, that's exactly right, which brings us back to Chris Clem, because nobody knows more about the border and license plate readers and so on and so forth than this man. And that's kind of a key, is that, you know, that's what the border does. And so when you look at something like this, some operation,
JLR
it is critical to find out the vehicle and find out where this vehicle is traveling to.
We are going to connect the dots. And old school law enforcement, we used to use, you know, Post-it notes and sticky notes and have to put all this stuff. Now we've got the luxury of technology and AI and everything else to map this together. Just like Kurt was saying, there are so many data points that can be used right now. So once we have point A, let's say this location is point B, we can connect all those dots. And that's the beauty of this, is using technology to our advantage. The FBI is working with Pima County, the state and locals, everybody's involved. As Kurt mentioned, there's so much information out there that they're working right now to connect these. That's probably what led us to this location and these warrants. But again, using the license plate readers, all the technology that the border has along the highways, state and locals, transportation department, all that is going to play into this case. And this is going to be the information that we need to connect these dots.
Yeah, you know, Kurt Knudsen, back to you. I was, you know, when I was, it was probably 25 years ago now, in the early 2000s, when we were covering the Scott Peterson trial. And it was really the first time that a lot of us, Scott Peterson, who is on death row now for murdering his wife, Lacey Peterson, was a big story. And it was the first time a lot of us had really kind of figured out that you can really use this cell phone triangulation to pinpoint people's locations. And it shocked a lot of people. And now
can you send me a link?
It is
email me?
the most common thing on the planet. And you wonder,
Jesse,
you know, what's the next step? Is have we gotten to a much better a much better technological fashion or police work where we can now use different tools that can actually give us more precision than we had 25 years ago.
Yeah, it's a combination of all these things. So also imagine a late model car is often connected to the internet. So what's that? Now you've got the suspect's vehicle, and that thing's talking to all these towers. And then you've got his own cell phone. Does he have a tablet? And then he goes and uses his computer somewhere. And of course, most of these people,
if you're in the modern world and you give up, it's convenience.
Time events unfold. They often use technology to plan these events. They map them out. They brag about them. They've got their plan on their laptop. All this stuff comes together, and that's going to put somebody away. And at the same time, we've just never seen the AI capabilities today that are available, including, and by the way, hats off to the Tucson City Police Department for creating, with the university there, a thing called CopLink. What's that? It's where the local agencies throughout Arizona share data like this immediately, and they're able to pour all this in, share it, get AI outputs with that, as well as a thing called Track with the Sheriff's Department that helps with abduction cases like this. Now, add into that the real pros, the FBI, and you start sharing that data together, and you've got some real investigative work coming together.
Best friend. Thank you, Diamond.
Yeah, well, this has been kind of an investigative powerhouse today. I go back
I
to
heard
Paul
they said
Morrow,
$300.
And Josh Ritter, if I can here, because
Let
it
me
really
check.
is. It's one of those things where we
Mr.
all now,
Ensign
you've got a lot of police work, which was exceptional today. With lack of, there's just no other way to put it. You had police work from local to federal that was exceptional. And now the question is, you've got to bring this woman home. So Paul Morrow, to you first.
They need to talk.
If you're trying to bring home Nancy Guthrie, and time is of the essence, and you have a legal mind, you have an investigative mind, what is the first bridge that you are trying to cross in the next 2, 3, 4 hours?
Well, you have to proceed on all fronts simultaneously because you don't know what's going to work. And it also depends upon the demeanor of the suspect. You got him in custody. Sounds like, I know they're calling it detained. He's in custody. And you gotta see how compliant you think you can get him to be. And you have to assume the worst. You have to assume that he's just going to dig in and not tell you. This is not the kind of thing that somebody's going to readily admit to. And so you have to make sure that at the same time you're doing that, you have somebody out getting into that car. I would be looking also for a couple of things. Does he have another car? Has he rented a car recently? How, if he planned it that much, does he have a truck? Does he have a work truck that he has access to? I'd also be looking at his financials. All this has to happen very quickly. Now that you got what you think is potentially him. Has he been paying for another location, a storage location, something like that? You got to look far afield and say to yourself, worst case scenario, this guy doesn't want to talk to me, and over the next few hours, he's not giving it up, and we're running out of rope. I have to have other things going. If I'm running this thing, I have other things going. I have entire teams pointed at all of these other vectors to do everything I can, including interviewing anybody that knows him, to say, I've seen him doing this, I've seen him. You know what? The other day, he told me he'd been up near XYZ. I thought it was strange. Now maybe that's a lead. So this is the kind of stuff, you have to do it all at once. Yeah. That's really the truth, Trace.
Yeah, remember we were on the set the other night, Josh Ritter, talking about, the first one who runs and tells the authorities is the one who's going to get the best deal out of this whole thing. And I'm wondering if it's a good cop, bad cop situation where, somebody's informing this person, again, just detained at this point in time, that, kidnapping is going to put you in prison for a long time. Murder puts you there forever.
I don't see
such an excellent point. And you got to think about the high profile aspect of this case as well. That's going to have an effect on this. And I imagine, these guys cannot keep their mouths shut. A crime like this, it's making national news. It's making worldwide news. Perhaps he has shared with someone else what he has done, where this woman might be, any information like that. So it's true. They found one person of interest. They've detained that person. But from that person, they gather so many other people, and they're leaning on all of those people. And perhaps there's a way to pressure them by saying, listen, you have information, you're not sharing that with us. This could make you complicit in all of this. And this could turn incredibly heavy and serious. We need that information from you quickly because we're trying to save someone's life. A lot to come out of this development.
Yep. I mean, it's also accurate to say that, you know, this is a person that they have detained right now. There might be, and who's to say this is the person on the videotape? Who's to say that whoever this person on the videotape was worked alone? But you can also say, Chris Clem, that, you know, maybe there are others out there, and maybe we will get other detentions in the next 24 hours. And that would also be a key part of this entire case.
You're absolutely right, and so are the other panel guests. You know, what really is interesting to me is to find out the location where this warrant is going to take place, right? Because there is so much information that we're going to be able to find on that. That's where the domino effect could happen, right? But like Paul mentioned, they're going to have to put everything out there. They're going to look at all vectors, everybody that this person's connected to. But it could be as simple as if it's some kind of domicile or a warehouse or something, they're going to see information, and that's going to take them running. And again, maybe we find somebody else. But also, as they mentioned, the first person that, and you mentioned, the first person that talks is going to get the better deal. This person on video and some that may have operated alone, right? But they're going to talk. They're communicating with somebody, as we mentioned in the previous hour. This is going to start opening some information gaps that hopefully we can close rather quickly. That's key, right? This information leads us to action, and we're seeing the action play out. There's just so much more that we have to find out in order to kind of get us closer to a resolution.
We have about 2.5 minutes left in our breaking news broadcast. I want to go back to Kurt Knudsen. Kurt, I mean, what will your recommendation be? Is there something cyber-wise that you think is instrumental in saving Nancy Guthrie's life in the next 24 hours?
I think when you have we don't know if we have a suspect, but if you have a suspect, or in this case, you know, a person of interest, whatever they're calling him, and if at least you can rule that out, you've now at least stepped in the right direction. But if you do confirm locations are coming together, think of the plethora of data points that are out there. I mean, it's just, even since we just talked, I was thinking like, okay, now we've got this. We've got I-19 that we know that's the major thoroughfare down to that area. What's on there? Truck stops. You better believe there are cameras there. So you're going to be looking at those. You're just going to be scouring through the technology touch points that all of us invisibly touch throughout our lives and see if they can connect those dots back and indeed take us back to that night with logs and say, can we take these breadcrumbs and as rapidly as possible at this point, if we indeed have a suspect, lead us to where Nancy Guthrie is at this very moment.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of those things where you think there's so many possibilities, but those possibilities take so much time. And right now there's not a lot of time. And so you want the remedy, right? You want the solution, you want the elixir to be something that is fast and is, you know, successful right now, or 3 hours from now, or 4 hours from now. I've got about 15 seconds for each of you, Paul Morrow and Josh. I just want to know, Paul.
We got Brian Ensign live. Ding, 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 ding.
So something is going on.
Brian, stand by.
I just want to bring in Arthur Idal on this because you were listening to Josephina say this about, according to her, tell me what you took away from it.
All right, I took away, he's in handcuffs. She said they took him away in handcuffs. So that's not a person of interest anymore, right? You don't just.
They took him away in handcuffs.
Number one. Number two, she's like, they don't need a warrant.
Thank you,
it's
RC.
my house. They could go in at any time they want. Now, but she also said.
They took him away in handcuffs.
She didn't say I gave them I gave them my phone. They took my phone. You do need a warrant for that, unless there's like something that's happening in the moment. This is 20 days, whatever, 10 days old now. You know, yes, if they were, this woman, Josephina, was in the middle of a drug sale and they saw her
that's
texting
arrest.
about
Well,
drugs, yes, they could grab her phone. But something like this, you know, at this point, Jesse, this is a long-term investigation. This isn't like exigent circumstances.
Yeah, and if
regarding the crime.
And if it was that serious, they wouldn't have let her speak to Brian.
Of course not. Exactly. And she's not. But
Who? I don't know
be
who.
irrelevant.
I'm trying
In
to
other
find
words,
out. We're all
I
trying to
doubt
find
there's
out.
anything on Josephina's phone that's going to try to be admitted into evidence. But, you know, and I know this is not exactly the subject matter, but since Brian did such an unbelievable job just now speaking with her, look at the position this woman's in. It's 10 o'clock at night. She's outside. She's got no phone. She's got no place to sleep. So what is she going to do? Just ring her neighbor? I mean,
Hold on, I'm trying to
come on,
find.
this is an older woman. Give her some housing, like give her your phone, give her your phone, an FBI agent or a police officer or a sheriff. So, I mean, this is real. Brian just did an unbelievable job. I mean, this is real time.
Damn. What was
her
it?
son-in-law, handcuffs, warrants. The funny part is, unless there's something specific in the house that they won't,
We'll get it in a
won't give them
second.
access to, they don't need a warrant. She's now on
A
national
delivery
television
man
on
in
just Webber show
Tucson?
saying, they can go in my house. I have nothing to hide.
CNN just interviewed a woman who says her house is the one being searched in Rio Rico. She says her son-in-law is Carlos.
So, you know, there's a ton of legal. This is like a law school class
Guys,
right there, what just took place with everything going on.
Carlos.
We booked you without even knowing this was going to happen. Do we still have Brian? If so, I just want to ask him a quick question. If Brian
CNN is.
Brian, let me just ask
Hold
you
on.
something. If I'm reporting
God,
this,
there's so much.
that this is now near the border, and we've been talking about this, there has been a lot of discussion about whether Border Patrol has been part of this investigation. There's been talk about, are the cartels involved? Is this an international element? After just speaking
Tell
to
us,
Josephina,
Brian,
where
tell
you
us.
are, how does that factor into all this?
Well, we're very close to the border. I mean, I'd have to look on my phone, but the border is right. I think it's like a mile away or something. And I want to
Carlos.
ask Josephina one more question when she's done talking, because one thing I forgot to ask Jesse is about the Bitcoin, and I'm curious if she knows about Bitcoin or if her son-in-law, you know, ever used Bitcoin. So I'm going to jump in with her in a second.
Sure.
But Border Patrol has been
He's going to play it again, or he's going to.
And yeah, I mean, it's close to the border. It's interesting. A lot of people thought this may end up having a Mexico connection, and we're so close here to the border. But, you know, people I interviewed earlier said if this was cartel or something, it would have been more organized. The person would have just pulled the camera, not just put, you know, try to put grass up over the lens, that kind of thing. That they felt like this was more amateur than typical cartel jobs that happen in this area.
And I just want to go back real quick as we talk about this, because again, just to understand where we're at right now, this is a rapidly developing situation. We have Brian Enton on the ground.
Is it
in Rio
rapid?
Rico.
Oh my God!
They are
Yes, it's
executing
rapid.
a search warrant on this subject. He had just spoken to.
Hold on, be
his
quiet, Jess.
mother-in-law,
1 second.
this
She's going to
individual,
talk. This is
Carlos. I think
this
we're
is the
still trying to
woman.
confirm the last name at this point. And Brian,
Let him talk.
again, just for anybody knowing, do you know how long this operation is going to last?
This is the woman they're
let me
searching their
correct. Just
house.
got
God
Josephina
bless her.
back. There's one thing I forgot to ask you. A big part of this has been Bitcoin. The ransom.
You are fucking kidding me. Hold on.
That they were asking for.
Why do I?
To get
Oh my
Nancy
God.
Guthrie back was for Bitcoin.
You are fucking kidding me. If I Oh my God.
Does your son-in-law
I'm going to keep pressing the motherfucker so I can hear it.
has he ever talked about Bitcoin?
No.
No. Never talked about Bitcoin.
They don't have a, like I was sound detective. They went.
Fuck me. I'm just. What? 1 second. Oh my God. Hold on. Motherfuck. Okay. Let me see here. Ryan. So the woman says nothing like that. Let me go to Fox. Let me go to Fox. What the Fox? What the FOX? Ugh. But she said nothing with. Hold on. Yeah, she just interviewed the woman who says her house is the one being searched in Rio Rico. She says her son-in-law Carlos is being investigated. She also says the family, including Carlos, has nothing to do with it and told law enforcement to search their house. They have nothing to hide. Yeah, but it's okay, here we go. We're going back to see what she said here. My God, I need a producer. Any producers out there want to help a old person?
They showed me a video to see if it was him. To see if he, yeah, he's my son-in-law. If I recognize the thing he was wearing, he doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have anything that comes on the video.
Was it surveillance footage?
From the house, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, they showed me that picture.
What surveillance video did they show you?
One outside of
from
the lady.
Nancy's house.
Yeah,
Does that look like him?
She's
No,
a good
it doesn't look
person,
like him. No,
but
not at
she's
all.
naive.
Has he ever been in trouble?
No. Well, when he was underage.
Okay, but nothing.
They kept on going in and
In
out
my
of
opinion.
my house, taking pictures. And I don't
You can tell she's a good person, but she's naive. You know, she is. She's a good person, in my opinion, but I think she's naive. She's just one of those like, oh, you would never. But, everyone's innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law.
know why.
And your son was the one that was detained.
Yeah, he was detained for. They showed me a video to see if it was him. To see if he. Yeah, he's my son-in-law.
Okay.
If I
Carlos
recognize the thing he was wearing, he
Vinzolves.
He doesn't have anything that comes on the video.
Was it surveillance footage?
From the house, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, they showed me that picture.
What surveillance video did they show you?
One outside of
from
the lady.
Nancy's house.
Yeah,
Does that look like him?
No, it doesn't look like him. No, not at all.
Has he ever been in trouble?
No. Well, when he was underage.
Okay, but nothing.
They kept on going in and out of my house, taking pictures, and I don't know why.
And your son was the one that was detained.
Yeah, he was detained for. They showed me a video to see if it was him. To see if he. Yeah, he's my son-in-law. If I recognize the thing he was wearing, he doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have any.
Well, now he doesn't have any of that. Possibly. She's in denial. Maybe. RC, did I thank you, baby? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You can tell she's a very sweet person, in my opinion. She looks like a good mom, but sometimes people do really shitty things. I'm not saying. The name, let me show you guys. This is allegedly the name. Carlos Valenzuelas. I don't know Spanish. His van broke down last Friday. I know I need a pick. I need a fucking pick. And I'm looking. That's why I just dropped it in chat. Come on, guys. Let's find Carlos. And there's not a fucking name. Someone just... Okay. Okay, great interview with female. Okay. What the okay. A woman who identified herself as the mother-in-law. So she's the mother-in-law of the man said she was arrested for the Nancy Guthrie case, defended him and said he doesn't look like the person's the suspect's photo earlier. Josephina Maddox, I don't know if the X is silent, told a swarm of journalists she lived in the home on Camamino. Hold on, shit, how do you pronounce it? 1 second. Camino Agosto. that was being searched Tuesday night, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department investigators. She said her son-in-law, who was identified as, okay, I gave you the wrong name. It's this is it. Carlos Palazuelos. Let me show you, because someone gave me the wrong name. But here's the Carlos Palazuelos. Oh my God. In heaven, help me. Give me a second, guys. I've just got to exit out of some of these because it's just too... I have way too many things open and then I get lost. Okay, here we go. Okay, look at the name. Wrong one. Shit. 1 second. I gotta close some of these. Okay. Here it is. Okay, I got it now. This is the name. Josephina Maddox told a swarm of journalists. Okay. She said her son-in-law, who was identified as Carlos Palazuelos, Palazuelos, is a good man, a good father, has no criminal record, and wouldn't do anything like this. Investigators were searching the property in Rio Rico as Tuesday night in connection to the Nancy Guthrie case and were expected to be there several hours. The intersection of West Fontage Road and Camino Agosto was blocked off about 8:30 p.m. by two Santa Cruz County Sheriff's vehicles and became a gathering spot for journalists. The area is in a quiet neighborhood not far from Rio Rico High School. A neighbor said that he saw two unmarked vehicles stopped in front of the house on Camino Agosto, 3 doors down from his home at 5:25 p.m. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said in the social media post at 9:36 p.m. that there had been assisted by the FBI's evidence response team in the court authorization search of the location in Rio Rico Guthrie, in the Guthrie case. The post said it could take several hours. She said it's in Rio. Okay. That's all that's important in that one. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Moving on. Okay. Oh my God. There's too much stuff. Oh, 1 second. You going live on this? Sorry, I was getting wrong up, but no, it's okay. Okay. I got to make sure this is the right picture. Because there's a lot of people named Carlos out there. I am not... They going to find her tonight? You think so? I got a picture, but I'm not going to show it. He's got a goatee, and he's got... One second. Okay. Oh, okay. They was given the wrong spelling. That's what it was. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Okay, let's see what he says right here. Go to Brian.
Hey guys,
Hinton.
so I just interviewed a woman. She says that she owns the house that's being searched right now, and it is her son-in-law who is being detained and questioned by police right now. And she says that they took all of their electronic devices. The search warrant is ongoing right now. She's not allowed to go back inside. She insists that her son-in-law is not involved in this. I asked her if she'd heard of the Nancy Guthrie investigation, and she said yes. I showed her the pictures from outside Nancy Guthrie's house, the surveillance photos, and I showed her the eyebrows, and she insists that it is not her son-in-law. She says that he was with her daughter delivering DoorDash when the police stop happened and they took him away. And, you know, I asked her if he was home last Saturday night into Sunday here, and she insists, yes, that he was, but around 2 a.m. So, that's what she's saying. The whole road is closed out here. They're searching her house right now, and that's the latest. Hey guys, so I just interviewed a woman. She says that she owns the house that's being searched right now.
So this woman, she claims, I think she's, you can tell, like, in my opinion, she's a really nice lady. And she just may not know what kind of, but, you know, he could be at 1 billion %. He has every right, you know, to, okay, here we go. Here's part of that. Let me show you this.
And her daughter's phone, and obviously her son-in-law's phone, and they are searching her house right now. So this is sort of an unfolding situation.
And I'll get into this with Arthur, the fact that they didn't have a search warrant, according to her. Do you know where Carlos is right now, Brian?
Do we know where Carlos is right now?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. They took my phone. I can't reach with nobody.
Yeah, we think he's being questioned.
Yeah, they already asked us a lot of questions about him. We told, like I said, I have nothing to hide. You can go in my house. You can search anything you want. There's nothing to hide. I don't know the lady. I don't know.
And her daughter's phone, and obviously her son-in-law's phone, and they are searching her house right now. So this is sort of an unfolding situation.
And I'll get into this with Arthur, the fact that they didn't have a search warrant, according to her. Do you know where Carlos is right now, Brian?
Do we know where Carlos is right now?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. They took my phone. I can't reach with nobody.
Yeah, we think he's being questioned.
Yeah, they already asked us a lot of questions about him. We told, like I said, I have nothing to hide. You can go in my house. You can search anything you want. There's nothing to hide. I don't know the lady. I don't know.
And her daughter's phone, and obviously,
I believe she doesn't know the lady, but yes, I think JLR is headed there right now. Hello, Mr. E, Mr. and Mrs. and Aunt E, and everyone else. Guys, that's all for me this evening. Josh is supposed to be going live here shortly. I have never sat in this chair this long in my life. We were live, I think, 7 hours earlier, and I just did another 2 and almost 3 hours. I've been in this chair all day. I can't even feel nothing. Okay, I think Josh is going live, all of that. JLR is headed there. I will see you tomorrow, Josh, from the lab or the lab after dark. I think he might be going live. No, he's not going live for an hour and a half. I just got a text. 10:30, 11, 12:30. Oh, okay, like 30 minutes, I think, something like that, he said. I don't know. I will find out. And Josh from the lab or the lab after dark, if you want to sub up to him. It's my buddy. Josh is my buddy. Mr. and Me's are my buddy. You all are my buddies. You heard Domino's is headed that way. No more pizza. No more pizza. All right, guys. Love you all. Appreciate you so very much. God bless each and every one of you. Let's pray that we're hopefully going to find Nancy tonight safe. As of yet, nothing. The sister said, or the mother-in-law, I guess you could, not mother-in-law, so we'll just call her mother-in-law. She said that he was with his sister doing DoorDash today when they were pulled over. FBI is on it, though. Love you guys. God bless. Justice for Miss Nancy Guthrie.